Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Landmark Conference Basketball as Juniata College hosts Drew University in men's basketball action tonight from Memorial Gym in the Kennedy Sports and Recreation Center here on the Juniata campus. This is Joe Shalaba filling in this month for Jim Zalzig. We get a chance to bring you the action here on a Friday night as the Eagles look to bounce back after their first loss of the season, dropping a contest here Tuesday night to visiting Catholic by an 81-56 score. So Juniata with a record of 2-1 overall and 2-1 in the Landmark Conference. Drew also at 2-1 overall and in the conference. The visitors from New Jersey, the Drew Rangers, opened their season with a victory over Catholic, 69-65 at home in New Jersey. Then they beat Scranton 97-68 before dropping the return trip at Scranton last Sunday, 65-56. So the Rangers are at 2-1. Juniata opened with a sweep of Moravian, beating the Greyhounds at Bethlehem 75-69 before winning here at Memorial Gym on February 7th, 66-53. Then after a break due to the COVID protocol, then the bye weekend, got back in action on Tuesday night, and it got off to a slow start and never really recovered in Catholic's 81-56 win. Just as an update on men's action in the Landmark, one game already in the books tonight as Catholic defeated Scranton in Scranton 83-72 earlier this evening, and Catholic is now 4-1 atop the Landmark Conference standings, and Scranton drops to 3-2. And for those that were able to watch on Tuesday night, 3 players for Catholic were in double figures and led the way, and that was the case again today in Scranton as Colby Martins, who had 22 here on Tuesday, had 23 tonight. Jesse Hoffmeister, 14 each game, and Tommy Kelly, who had 13 here, had 14 tonight to lead Catholic. For Juniata on Tuesday, John Kelly came off the bench to score 13 points as he did most of his scoring at the free throw line as he was 11 of 15 there for Juniata. The Eagles were hurt by cold shooting in their own right, shooting 38% for the game. But the big difference was just Catholic put the ball in the hoop as the Cardinals sprinted out to a 43-26 halftime lead. They shot 53% in the first half, 52% for the game. Juniata just really not able to get things going on Tuesday night. And hopefully tonight we'll be able to get off to a faster start. So for the season, Juniata is scoring 66 points per game and giving up 68 as the Eagles opened, as I said, with a 75-point performance at Moravian, then scored 66 here in beating Moravian before dropping to 56 points on Tuesday. So Juniata needs to find some offense. And the leading scorer for the Eagles so far has been John Kelly as he's come off the bench, the junior, averaging 11 points, 4.3 rebounds per game. Chase Husted, the freshman from DuBois, still averaging a double-double, 10.7 points and 10.3 rebounds a contest. Also in the scoring column, senior Cameron Keck averaging 7.3 points a game, the starter from Waynesboro. Kyle Ruggery, freshman from Bishop Guilfoyle and Altoona, 6.7 points per game and team-high 3 assists. Marcus Hall, the senior from Trinity High School, 5.7 points, 5 rebounds a game. Evan Eisenhardt, a freshman from Central York, is averaging 5.3 points a game. And off the bench, the senior from Johnsonburg, Elk County Catholic, Nate Duckanell, is averaging 6.3 points and 3.3 rebounds a game for Juniata. So we expect the starters to be Eisenhardt, Hall, Ruggery, Keck, and Husted for Juniata. For Drew, they have had scoring from 4 players in double figures. and we'll go through their stats as they get the announcements of the lineup. Junior guard Drew Gallagher, number 3, is the starter. Howard McBurney Jr. is the leading scorer at 16 points a game. He also has 11 rebounds. LeBrian Robinson averaging 15 points and 3 rebounds a game. Malachi Walker Jr., a senior, averaging, don't have his stats right in front of me. He's 6'6" forward. And then Michael Kane, starting at forward. He's a sophomore from Langhorne Notre Dame High School. So the double-figure scorers are McBurney, Robinson. Newman off the bench is averaging 12.3 points a game, although he will not be playing here tonight as he's not on the trip. And then also coming off the bench for Drew Jr., David Gervais is averaging 11 points and 3.7 rebounds. As we said, it's Eisenhart, Hall, Ruggery, Cameron Keck, the senior, just being announced by Scott McKenzie. And then in the middle, the postman is Chase Husted for head coach Greg Curley. Greg in his 20th season with a record for Juniata, 256 wins, 246 defeats as the coach. Jacob Flegel, the associate head coach for Juniata. Damon Rickens is the assistant coach. Drew is led by head coach Daryl Keckler. Greg Curley, by the way, an Allegheny College graduate, Northwestern PA institution. Daryl Keckler graduated from Trevecca Nazarene in Tennessee and is the winningest coach in Drew history for men's basketball, the record of 144 and 167. Drew has been controlling the series, winning 2 of the last 10 contests. They've defeated Juniata twice last season, twice the year before. They split in 2017-18. We'll have some more about the series when we get a break later on. But we're ready to get started here at Memorial Gym. I'm up in the upper mezzanine behind the Juniata bench. If you're looking, you would be looking at the scorer's table. But the camera, you're looking away, so you're seeing the same view I'm having, except I'm a little deeper in the corner by the Juniata bench. Drew in green going right to left to get started against Juniata's traditional man-to-man defense. First shot of the game is a three-point attempt by Robinson, but Drew is able to gather the rebound, and then another three is going to miss, and the ball goes out of bounds. Gallagher tried a three from the near corner, and the ball was then deflected off the side of the mezzanine walkway above the basket. So Juniata will get possession as we open up with Drew also in the man defense. Juniata in the all-white home uniforms, tops and bottoms with blue and gold trim. Keck will attempt to throw it across to Eisenhart, and it's sailed out of bounds. Juniata has been committing 17.7 turnovers per game, which has been a problem here in the early going of the season. Three-point attempt from the near wing is no good, and it's going to go against Drew as McBurney tried the three. but the foul is going to go against Michael Kane, number 40, for climbing on the back of a Juniata defender. So Juniata will get possession in a scoreless ball game here in the early going as we go under the 19-minute mark in the first half. Keck to Usted, skips across to Ruggery in front of the Drew bench. Hall grabs the ball off the floor and then kicks it to the far corner for three as Eisenhart, short rebound. Usted goes up for it, and he gathers it in the corner, tries to save it, and does get it out to Hall. So Eisenhart drives the baseline, and he's going to go toward the basket, but as he drove and got stuck under the basket, the ball goes off of the Drew defender. So Juniata will have possession underneath its basket with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hall comes to the far corner to Ruggery, who drives to the block and then kicks it out to Eisenhart, who has to step inside the three-point line and misses. The rebound goes to McBurney. No score as we approach the 18-minute mark here in the first half. Three-pointer is good. LeBryant Robinson, first bucket of the game. And Drew is on the scoreboard, 3-0 for the Rangers. Keck, Ruggery, and Hall now has it in the left wing. Usted comes out to the left side of the top of the key. Eisenhart, Keck tried to get a three off, but was guarded closely, so he has to go to Usted, who goes across to Hall. And Keck tried the entry pass to get it to Usted in the right block, and it's deflected out of bounds by Walker. So there's 3 on the shot clock, and Juniata has to look for a quick bucket. Eisenhart drives at a basket, and there's going to be a foul. So he angled across, and he was about 10 feet from the basket. And he got bailed out there as they call the foul on Malachi Walker Jr., his first, team's second. As Eisenhart caught the ball on the right wing, and he had to try to score quickly. And he did get bumped, and he gets to go to the line to score the first point of the night for Juniata as he makes the free throw. Juniata has improved its free throw shooting after struggling the first 2 games. Hit 70% from the line to bump their percentage up to 57% for the season after the 70% on Tuesday. Eisenhart makes the second as well, so it's 3-2 as Drew runs a bit of a weave here on the outside, but they go inside to the block now, and now kicks it out as Walker went and gets it back as he was able to get Robinson's pass off the drive. I should say that was McBurney with the assist. And the inside bucket is made, and it's 5-2. Drew back up by 3. 17 minutes to go here in the opening half. Usted has it down low left side. He's blocked as he goes up. And the rebound is gathered in by Gallagher. Walker stood up to Usted there and got the block, and then Drew got the rebound. Near wing three-point attempt is no good. Juniata's Usted gets the rebound. Kane missed the 3. And Ruggery takes it across the timeline, is on the left side. Now top of the key, Keck for a long 3 is good. Cameron Keck from way out there, and we're going to have the first Juniata foul of the game. It's Kyle Ruggery called for contact. And it's Juniata's first foul. So they'll move to bring the basketball in underneath the Drew basket. Quick shot off the glass is good as Kane got the inbounds pass and had a height advantage over Eisenhart, and then just put it up off the right side of the block on the backboard. And 7-5. Ruggery guarded by Gallagher. Eisenhart steps, but he's covered by Kane. Hall to the right side to Keck. Usted has it at the free throw line and goes to Keck on the right side, who hits a three. Cameron Keck has the hot hand here with 2 trays. Juniata's in front 8-7. And then Drew loses the basketball as Gallagher. Drew Gallagher had it go off of his leg as he dribbled down the right side of the lane. So the Eagles with the lead now after that turnover. A chance to build on the 1-point advantage. Hall has it on the right block, lost his dribble, so he has to go back out to Ruggery. Swings it to Eisenhart, who drives to the basket, but it's batted away from behind. Michael Kane reached in from behind and knocked it forward out of bounds. And so it'll be Juniata ball underneath. And Drew is in a zone here. 2-3 zone on the out-of-bounds play. Hall is going to be called for traveling. He tried to get Malachi Walker to take the pump fake. He did take the pump fake, but then Marcus slid that pivot foot and is called for traveling. So a turnover for the Eagles, and it gives Drew another opportunity here as the Rangers trail by 1. 15 minutes to play now in the first half. Gallagher, right wing. Robinson dribbles across the near side to Kane, who goes into the lane and then looks out for Walker, who skips it across here to McBurney, who goes into the lane and scores. But they're going to call a charge on Howard McBurney Jr. So it's a no goal and a turnover on the offensive foul. So that's his first and Drew's third foul. And some substitutes entering the ball game for Juniata. John Kelly comes in to give Marcus Hall a break. David Gervais, number 35, is on the floor now, along with Malcolm Sidebottom for Drew. I should say that's Carter Truby, number 33. Ruggery goes to the basket one-on-one against Gallagher. Some contact, but incidental there, so they play on. Juniata's now on defense, and they're going to have a foul call here against the Eagles. John Kelly, the 6'5 junior from Philadelphia Roman Catholic for the Eagles, picks up his first foul. Team foul number 2 against Juniata. LeBryant Robinson hits the first free throw. Michael Moncalvo on the floor for the first time for Juniata, along with Nate Dacanel. Robinson's second free throw is good. He now has 5 points, and Drew is in front 9-8. Some pressure here by Drew, a 1-2-2 press, full court. Moncalvo throws it across to Kelly, right underneath the Dacanel, as Cameron Keck gets the assist on the nice pass from the left wing. Juniata regains the lead by 1, 10-9. As we go under 14 minutes. Gallagher drives at a basket. Oh, my. So they're going to call that foul on John Kelly. That's his second foul. He's called for the block. Gallagher drove hard to the basket. I mean, he's going to get 2 free throws. And he'll make the first. So that will bring John Kelly to the bench after just a short stint on the floor. Means Andrew Bithell, senior from Saxon Tussey Mountain, comes on. He's going to get some important time here as he grabs the first rebound right away. Pass is stolen away as Keck tried to go ahead of the pace. And McBurney was able to get in the lane. And Bithell blocks the shot as Gallagher goes at a basket, and Bithell sails across and picks up the block. Kevin Griffith for Drew now in the lineup, replacing Gallagher. And Nick Rigby's going to give Chase Husted a break. So Rigby is on, moving Bithell over to guard McBurney Jr. Three-pointer from the far corner is no good, but the rebound is brought in on the near side by Griffith. There's a foul on Keck. This is McBurney, I should say Robinson, working against Keck, and Keck is called for the foul. Fourth foul on Juniata in the first half. Running three is no good. Rebound hit the backboard, and it's going to stay for Drew as the Eagles could not gather in the rebound. Cameron Keck comes to the sideline now, and Filippo Baldo enters for the first time for Juniata, the sophomore number 1 from Notre Dame Green Pond High School. Juniata playing man on the inbounds pass, and Bithell is guarding Robinson. Or I should say McBurney Jr., and McBurney Jr. scores. And it's a 2-point lead now for Drew. And they go right into the 1-2-2 press, but the Eagles break it. Bithell is across the timeline. And they're going to call a travel. As they said, Bithell put his other pivot foot down as he looked to pass it. As he... I should not say other pivot foot. He picked his pivot foot up, and then it hit the ground before he passed it. 12:50 to go here in the first half. 12-10, Drew. It's an important game. Both teams 2-1 in the conference. There's a travel the other direction. As Howard McBurney Jr. is called for the walking violation to travel. Didn't put that dribble down quickly enough. Picked up the pivot foot first. Into Bithell. They go to a kind of a double team there, but he gets it to Duckinell. It's deflected. It's still in the back court. And Juniata will take a timeout with 21 on the game clock, so they're going to have a second to get it across the timeline here. After the pressure forced Juniata to retreat, they got about halfway into the back court, and the ball was deflected back toward the foul line area, and that's when Greg Curley decided to use a timeout. So we'll see if the Eagles can get it across that 10-second line before the violation. Juniata has been shooting 45% from the floor, 33% from three-point range, and 57.3% at the line for the season so far. Shooting better tonight so far, 43% from the floor, 2 of 2 at the line, 67%. On 2 of 3 from three-point range. So Duckinell will bring it inbounds. They're going to have to go quickly to get it across right to Bithell with the direct pass. So they were able to beat the time on the violation, and now have a chance to set it up on offense. But there's 10 seconds on the shot clock. Moncalvo steps back, no good on the baseline jumper. And then Baldo came from behind to try to get a held ball situation with Griffith, and they're going to call Baldo for holding. So Baldo's first foul, team's 5th. Kane returns to the lineup for Drew. Truby and Gervais also in for Drew, along with Walker Jr. and Griffith. Baldo, Rigby, Bithell, Moncalvo, and Duckinell for Juniata. Rigby gets a block as Truby went to the basket, had a step on Rigby, but Rigby was able to block the shot from behind. 14 on the shot clock. Direct pass to Kane, whose three-pointer is no good, and Rigby skies for the rebound. And Juniata has the ball down to Rigby, top of the key, across to Baldo to Montcalvo. Now into Bithell. Scoops under left-handed, no good, but the rebound goes to Rigby, but he lost it. It's stolen away, and here comes Drew on the break. Layup there by David Gervais. And it's now a 4-point lead for Drew. Drew immediately gets the double team when they get a chance, and Andrew Bithell caught it just past the timeline on the Juniata side of the floor and got double teamed quickly, but fortunately the ball went out of bounds off of Drew. So Montcalvo guarded by Gallagher. Ducanel, Baldo steps back three, he's fouled. I should say not a three-pointer, but about a 12-foot jumper. Michael Kane gets his second foul of the half, and team foul number 4. So Filippo Baldo will step to the line to shoot 2. As he looks for his first point of the game. And he makes the first free throw. Usted enters for Bithell for Juniata. So Chase Usted in the lineup for the Eagles. Second one from Baldo is good. So Griffith has the ball, brings it across for Drew. 11 minutes to go in the first half. Near wing, it's Gervais, and he goes to Truby. Skips across to Gallagher for 3, no good, off the back of the iron. Ducanel gets the rebound. And now we'll dribble it up to the midcourt stripe, stops there and passes to Rigby, who is fouled. Gallagher is called, Griffith, number 4, is called for the foul. Kevin Griffith, number 4, is called for the foul. That's his first, team's 5th. So Juniata will have it on the sideline in front of the Drew bench to bring it in. Trailing by 2. Montcalvo to Baldo for 3. And it is right through. And Juniata is back in front, 15-14. The Eagles clearly shooting the ball better tonight than they did Tuesday. And the long-range ball has been a factor here and helped Juniata to this lead. Far wing, Rigby did a nice job stopping the 3. Near side 3 is no good. It goes out of bounds. As David Gervais tried the 3 from this near wing, and it went long, and then Rigby did a nice job screening off his Drew opponent to keep it to go out of bounds. But now the Eagles will have to take it in just outside the corner, straight across from us. Ducanel throws it to Rigby, who takes the dribble and then goes a nice job of backing up. He goes to the line, he goes under the foul line. And he passed it in to Chase Usted. And they call it travel on Usted. So a turnover back to Drew with the Eagles in front by 1. 9:45 left in the first half. Gervais drives and kicks it to Gallagher, back to Gervais, and there's going to be a foul called on Gallagher as Ducanel had position at the baseline, right at the corner of the lane, and when Gallagher passed it, he continued to move forward and is called for the charge after the pass. So the team control foul is the 6th against Drew, first against Gallagher. So Juniata will bring it inbounds, have to go the length of the court here. As they lead by one, as they deal with Drew's pressure. Duckinell takes it across to Montcalvo. And there's a pass to Husted, is up and in. Baldo passed it to Chase Husted, who puts it in off the glass for a 3-point lead for Juniata. Gervais back to Gallagher. Far side is Anderson in for the first time for Drew. Near side here is Gallagher, guarded by Montcalvo. Gallagher into the lane, kicks it way out three. No good. Rebound for Hall on the Anderson miss, and Duckinell has it and slows it down a bit for Juniata as the Eagles lead by 3 with a chance to build for their largest edge of the night, as they already are at their largest lead of 3. Baldo's shot is short, but Duckinell's under there and gets the rebound. It's knocked out from behind as Walker Jr. tried to strip it and slapped it away. So a lot of Juniata subs now. Ruggery, Keck, and Eisenhart all return for Juniata. So Gallagher, Robinson, Walker, Gervais, and Anderson for Drew. Hall, Ruggery, Eisenhart, Keck, and Husted, the starters for Juniata. And Husted has it on the right block, up and in. He put up a little baby hook, kind of from the shoulder. Juniata leads by 5, 19-14. Three-pointer from the corner is no good by Anderson. It goes off of Drew as McBurney Jr. flew through the air to try to get the rebound. And it went off of his attempt at the rebound and goes out of bounds to Juniata. So the Eagles with a 5-point lead and the basketball. 8:10 to go in the first half. Hall looks to Husted, but it's stolen away as McBurney Jr. stepped in front of it. He's on the dribble. Looks to the far side to Robinson. Skip near side Anderson for 3. No good. But the rebound is held by Drew's McBurney Jr. Right-handed hook is good. Little soft hook shot from about 7 feet. 19-16. Juniata by 3. Ruggery to Keck on the right wing. Eisenhart comes off the double screen, and Keck didn't have him open, so he had to dribble back out top. Ruggery is guarded tightly there by Gallagher, and Gallagher deflects it out of bounds. So there's 9 on the shot clock, and the Eagles will bring it inbounds in the corner on the baseline in front of the Drew bench to our far right. Ruggery goes underneath to Hall, who kicks it out for a 3-point shot. It's good. Cameron Keck with 9 points on 3 trays. 22-16. Largest lead for Juniata. Robinson, left-handed. Shot is good. And he is fouled. As Robinson caught it near the top of the lane, top of the key, takes it into the paint, goes up left-handed for a shot, soft shot from about 5-6 feet, and he's fouled by Keck. So Cameron picks up his second foul. Both teams are in the bonus now with 16 fouls apiece, but this will be the chance for Robinson to finish the 3-point play. He has 7 on the night, and he makes it for his 8th point. So it's a 2-2. Oh, the pass is stolen away. The charge is called. As McBurney Jr. made the steal and goes to the basket, and Eisenhart was waiting on him for the charge. So that is the second Second foul against McBurney Jr., and that's the 7th against Drew, but as an offensive foul, there's no shooting to be done after that. .6:55 remaining here in the first half. Ruggery to Eisenhart against this press as they come across as Ruggery's on the dribble and he's triple teamed. And Gallagher digs in and gets the held ball. So the alternate possession stays with Juniata. So the Eagles have a chance to build on the lead again. 15 on the shot clock. Hall skips across. Ruggery couldn't get the 3 off, so he had to skip it over to Keck, who's called for the travel. .6:25 remaining after the turnover. Eisenhart takes the player control foul on this end again. Is Matthew Capozzoli is called for the team control foul. Eisenhart was set up, and after the pass, got himself set, and then was able to draw that offensive foul, that team foul by Drew. It's their 8th. Juniata breaks the press. Husted swings it across to Keck, looks inside the Hall, but has to go to Ruggery, who's at the top of the key. Eisenhart's double teamed. It goes to Ruggery at the top. Gallagher is on him. There's the pass stolen. Eisenhart tried to go to Hall, but Hall was able to get it back. And I think we're going to have a foul call against Juniata's Hall. It's going to be 1-1. So Marcus Hall picks up his first foul. And that's team foul number 7. And that puts Matthew Capozzoli to the free throw line at the 5:58 mark here in the first. Juniata by 3. First free throw goes through. 22-20. First points of the game for Capozzoli, who misses the second, and Husted gathers up the rebound. 22-20, Juniata. Husted has it and gets it back to Eisenhart, who has it to run the offense. Ruggery, Eisenhart to Keck. Keck on the left wing. Eisenhart, a long 3 off the iron, no good, but Husted comes out to get the rebound. Juniata gets a new 20-second clock. Husted had to try to go to the basket with a dribble. And then it will go to Drew on the held ball. Chase tried to, he did a great job coming out to get the rebound. And then he had an open space and decided to try to go to the basket. And when he put it on the floor, Drew really goes after those steals. They will swing and put those arms in there to try to make the steal, and they were able to knock it loose. And then after a little bit of a scrum, it's a held ball. And Drew has possession. So the Rangers, who have trailed by as many as 6, now down by 2, and it'll be tied as David Gervais lays it in off the glass, and it's tied at 22. Ruggery dribbles across and then has to pass it to Eisenhart. Corner to Keck. As Drew playing an aggressive matchup zone. They really get a lot of contact as well. They push as much as they can. And there's a foul on Capozzoli as he came out on the perimeter to put a little pressure on Eisenhart. And Eisenhart just had enough quickness to draw that blocking foul. So that's the second foul against Capozzoli. 9 against Drew. And Eisenhart will step to the line in a tie game. And he misses the front end of the 1-on-1. And Walker Jr. rebounds for Drew. Gallagher goes the whole way to the basket, and they're going to call a foul as he came down the right side, got past the Juniata defense, and then Chase Husted, a little off balance, attempted for a kind of a late block, and in the process ended up getting a big chunk of Gallagher's arm. And now Drew Gallagher will shoot 2 free throws. He made 1 of 2 earlier, and he makes the first of this pair. And Drew has scored 7 straight points to take the lead once again. Although Gallagher missed the second, but the rebound goes to Kane for the Rangers. So Drew gets another chance here on the offensive end. Shot by Robinson is no good, but Gallagher got the rebound. Another chance for a second, this will be like a third chance opportunity here for the Rangers. Gallagher guarded by Eisenhart, and then he throws it away. So he drove it into the lane, guarded by Eisenhart, and he looked out to go to McBurney on the far right side, and the pass was just out of reach, so it's a turnover for Drew. And that is the 7th turnover for the Rangers. Juniata has 11 turnovers in this first half. Some aggressive defense full court-wise by Drew. Juniata's been playing its typical quarter-court aggressive defense. Hall gets it on the block, and he tried to get the defender, Walker Jr., to go up and with a pump fake, and when he did, Hall slid his foot and is called for the travel. So that's 12 turnovers against Juniata. 23-22, Drew is in front. Near wing, it's Kane. Skip pass to McBurney Jr. Goes to the basket, and it's blocked by Bithell, who then gathers up the ball and gives it off to Ruggery, and Juniata's on the break. Ruggery has it again after Eisenhart passed it back to the top. Keck back to Ruggery against that 2-3 matchup zone. Eisenhart, Ruggery fakes a shot, goes to the foul line area, swings it out to Eisenhart, pump fakes, and goes to the baseline. He has to kick it to Keck, who's out at the top. Bithell tried to throw it inside the Hall, but it was deflected and stolen away by Drew. Here come the Rangers. Kane for 3, no good, rebound Bithell. And Juniata gets another chance. Eagles trail by 1, 23-22. They've been stuck on 22 for about 5 minutes. Keck in the far wing. Plays back and forth with Eisenhart, and then Keck tried to go into Bithell, and it's stolen by Walker Jr. And there's a charge call once again as Michael Kane tried to go to the basket and force his way past the Juniata defender. And it is an offensive foul charge call against Drew. Turnover. Back to the Eagles, who take a timeout at the 2:27 mark. Juniata is shooting the ball much better tonight. 47% from the floor, but they've only had 15 field goal attempts because they've had 14 turnovers. So that's been a big factor, obviously. Drew, 8 of 25 from the field overall. Just 1 of 13 from three-point range. And 6 of 9 at the line. Juniata 4 of 5 at the line here. as we go into the final 2 minutes and 27 seconds with Drew in front by 1. Gallagher, McBurney, Robinson, Walker, and Kane, Eisenhart, Hall, Ruggery, Keck, and Bithell on the floor. And Bithell actually has been replaced by Usted for Juniata. So Eagles back with their starting 5 for this stretch run here. Hall in the lane, foul's going to be called, and it'll put Hall at the line. Malachi Walker Jr. is called for his second personal. Team foul number 10. Marcus Hall will get to step to the free throw line to shoot 2. He makes the first with the double bonus situation. We're at a tie game, and Juniata's dry spell is over. Almost exactly 5 minutes. Missed the second, though, and we're still tied at 23. Gallagher on the dribble. Now comes over towards us. The pass on pass from the wing to the block is deflected. Then a travel is called as McBurney Jr. had it in the mid-post area and tried to make something happen, and before he dribbled, he picked up that pivot foot. 23-23. Tie game against this 2-2-1 press. Usted has it for Juniata. 20 on the shot clock as the Eagles set up in the offensive end. Usted foul line across to Ruggery. Eisenhart had it deflected back to him as he tried to pass it to Ruggery. And then his pass attempt to Usted is deflected and stolen by Gallagher. Far wing 3, long 3 is no good as Robinson tried to hit one on the run, and Keck gathers the rebound. And we're at 1:15 to play in the first half. Keck, top of the key. Usted is at the lane area waiting as Ruggery has it in the left wing. Into the top of the foul line area. That's Hall. Left-handed shot is up and good. Kind of 3/4 of his way up the line there. Put in about a 12-footer. And Juniata regains the lead, 25-23. McBurney Jr. goes to the hoop and scores quickly to make it 25-25. 35 on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. Tie game at 25 as we finish up this first half. There's a foul as Ruggery caught the pass. And LeBryant Robinson is called for the foul. And that is his first. First one is good for Kyle Ruggery at the free throw line. So Juniata back in front by 1. Second shot for Ruggery is good, and Duckinell will come in and replace Keck to allow Juniata to get its half-court defense set up at 27-25. .20 seconds left. Drew will go for the final shot as the shot clock is off. Gallagher is out on the far side, just inside the 10-second line. Goes at a basket, and it's stolen away by Duckinell, but he couldn't save it. Long 3, no good, and that'll cause the buzzer to go. And that's it for the half. McBurney tried a long 3, and Juniata will take a 27-25 edge into the halftime break. And we'll have all the statistics updated for us in a little bit, but just quickly off the live stats, we can see that Juniata shot 50% from the floor in the first half. But as we said just a couple minutes ago, not a lot of attempts. Juniata just 8 of 16 for 50%. Drew, 9 of 28 for 32%, with A majority, one of 15. So 15 of the 28 field goal attempts have been from three-point range. And so that cold shooting from out on the perimeter has helped keep the scoring down. Juniata has been hurt by 15 turnovers. Drew has turned it over 10 times. 17 rebounds for Juniata with 15 for Drew. So we'll take a break here, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes, give you the update on the individual scores. We do know that the Juniata women are at Drew, and right now in the second quarter, it's Drew up 26-22 with about 4 minutes to play in the first half there. So we're at halftime here at Memorial Gym. Thanks for joining us on JuniataSports.net and the Landmark Conference website. Landmark Conference basketball live on a Friday night. From Memorial Gym at halftime, it's Juniata 27, Drew 25. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
How can a college become a part of you? It's just school, right? Yet in this quiet, powerful place, it's different. It's like you feel it in your gut. The sense of the possible. Every day, I feel my purpose. My friendships here. This energy. It's all of us working together to change this beautiful mess of a world. I've learned so much already. I wonder, what's next? It gets into your being, this place. I know I will take it with me, wherever I go. This is not just school. This is Juniata.
All right, welcome back to Memorial Gym in the Kennedy Sports and Recreation Center here at Juniata College. Landmark Conference basketball. On the men's side here tonight, it's Juniata leading Drew 27-25 at halftime. We had some of the team statistics for you right at the end of the half. As we said, Drew shooting 32% from the floor, just 1 of 15 from three-point range. Leading scorer is LeBryant Robinson with 8 points. Howard McBurney Jr. has 6 for Drew. While the Eagles of Juniata are shooting 50%, 8 of 16, 4 of 6 from three-point range. Leading scorer is Cameron Keck, who is 3 for 3. Perfect from the field, all three-pointers. Filippo Baldo has 5 points. Chase Husted has 4 for the Eagles. And Husted has 4 rebounds to lead Juniata as they have a 17-15 edge in rebounding. One of the big statistics of the half, turnovers, is the Eagles have 15, the Rangers have 10. But Juniata has only put 16 field goal attempts up in the first half, while Drew had 28 field goal attempts. I was taking a look at this series, and the Drew Juniata series actually began in February 1977. The final game of the 1976-77 season here at Juniata. An MAC North contest. Juniata beat Drew here that night, 87-73, to finish the season 12-10 overall, get that winning record and a 5-5 season in the league. Was also the final game for then coach Carl Medich, who left Juniata after that game and after that season. And it was also the final game for the coach at Drew at the time, David Harper. The series is tied 19-19, so this is the 39th time these teams have met. And I just by chance was looking at the game of the 1985-86 season, which was 35 years ago, and the final season of my student life here at Juniata, and we lost at Drew that year, 80-61. The coach at that time for Drew was Charlie Brock in his final season. And I remember coaching with Dan Hellman, Jim Zalzik against many years against Vince Masco, who's another one of the Drew coaches in the past. So a little bit of walk down memory lane. I did mention also the series that Juniata has only won 2 of the last 10 in the series. The last victory was in February 2018 here as Juniata beat Drew 73-64. And this series has been split 4 times out of the last 7. It's been 1-1, but Drew has won 2 of the games, 2-0 seasons, 3 of the stretch. So 3 of 7 have been Drew 2-0 sweeps. But right now, Drew trails Juniata. The Eagles in front 27-25 as we get started in the second half. The Eagles have the alternate possession to bring it inbounds, and they do start with possession right in front of us, going right to left. As the Eagles look to build on their lead, they led by as many as 6 in the first half. Husted was guarded in the paint, so he had to kick it out to Keck. Ball on the floor on the far side, but let's see, it's going to go to Drew, as they're going to say Ruggery touched the ball while he was on the end line. So Drew has a chance to score here in the first possession of their second half. Gallagher, McBurney, Robinson, Walker, and Kane for Drew. Eisenhardt, Hall, Ruggery, Keck, and Husted on the floor for Juniata. Hard drive to the basket. Soft shot is good by LeBryant Robinson. And we're tied at 27. Drew once again putting that press on. The Juniata are able to bring it across the line here. They are in the front court with the basketball in a tie game. Usted off the glass, no good. Hall fights for the rebound, but it's going to go to Gallagher on the deflection, and Drew's on the breakout. Eagles get back quickly, though, on defense, and the pass is stolen as Usted stepped in front of the pass that was the entry pass from the wing, and Eisenhardt has it on the near wing right in front of us. Out to Keck. He's looking to Usted in the lane, who's guarded by McBurney Jr. Far right, Ruggery now. Keck on the baseline with a left-handed dribble, takes it out towards the NCAA logo on the far side. Eisenhardt loops under the basket to Ruggery near side. Eisenhardt for three, good! Beats the shot clock. 3-point goal. Eisenhardt with 5. Juniata by 3, 30-27. Three-pointer from the right wing is good. LeBryant Robinson. And after a frigid three-point shooting half, Drew makes its first three after missing 14 of 15 in the first half. They hit the first one here in the second half. Back at 30, we're tied again. Eisenhardt, pump fake, underneath the Hall, off the glass and good. Eisenhardt with the assist, Hall with the bucket. He has 5, 32-30. Juniata back by 2. Eagles playing aggressive man defense in the quarter court set. Shot clock at 7. Another 3, no good. Hall is out rebounded, and Gallagher gets the three-pointer, rattles in for Michael Kane. 33-32. Drew in front. Ruggery inside the foul circle, back over to Keck. Looks for Usted just outside the block at the right side. Across the Hall, back to Keck at the top of the key. Ruggery drives at a basket, but he's cut off. Goes to Usted, and he couldn't come up with it. And on the steal, Kane on the run out. They're going to call Eisenhardt for the foul. Eisenhardt picks up his first, team's first foul of the half, and Juniata takes a timeout. 16:32 to play in the second half. Drew by 1, 33-32. And Michael Kane will step to the free throw line after the timeout. Kane, who was 1 for 4 and 0 for 3 from three-point range in the first half, rattled one home on the last trip, and now he'll get to go to the line to shoot his first free throw attempts of the contest. Glad to have you aboard here as you're joining us for on the Drew side through your website or the Landmark Conference website. Obviously, glad to have you along through the JuniataSports.net website as well. Joe Shalaba is saying glad to have you aboard. Jim Zalzik taking the month off. As many of you know, Jim has been the voice of the Eagles for quite a while now, and it's asked me to fill in this month, and it's been a pleasure for me to get the opportunity. So glad to have the chance to be with you. Let's see if we can get the Eagles back in front here. They trail by 1, 33-32, as Kane, the sophomore from Langhorne, Notre Dame, will shoot 2 for the Rangers, and he hits the first. 34-32. Second is good. 35-32. Drew by 3. Eisenhardt hassled by Gallagher. The deflection goes out of bounds. Juniata will keep possession with 18 on the shot clock. Keck drives, double teamed, stolen. Robinson got the steal and brings it across for Drew. Gallagher in the corner. Guarded by Ruggery. He's at the top of the key to McBurney Jr. Drives tough to the basket, and they're going to call a foul. McBurney took it hard to the glass, and he tried to split between Usted and Hall, and Chase Usted is going to pick up the personal. That is his second, team second. We're going to see John Kelly come back onto the floor. John had a very brief go in the first half as he picked up 2 fouls in 1 minute of play. So let's see if John can get some playing time and some buckets here in the second half as he comes on to give Usted a break. Eisenhart is also going to sit down for Juniata as Montcalvo comes in. Montcalvo's back on the floor for Juniata. The free throw misses, so it's 35-32 at the 15:50 mark. Juniata with the basketball, chance to cut into the lead or tie it with a 3. Kelly at the top of the key to Keck. Top of the key, Montcalvo's 3, no good. It's tough coming in right off the bench with that cold shooting hand, but he close call, but just wouldn't go in. It rolled off the rim, and Drew has it. Dylan Musial is in the lineup for Drew for the first time, and they try to get it underneath to him, and it's deflected out of bounds off of Ruggery. Looks like Walker Jr. asked to take a break. Looked like he something with his leg as he asked to come out. Baldo returns to the lineup for Juniata. Corner 3, good. And that is Dylan Musial for 3, and it's now 38-32. Drew with its largest lead. 10-second violation as the Eagles could not get it up the floor against the press. And Juniata will take another timeout to talk about it as Greg Curley asked to bring his team together and say, look, guys, we gotta handle this press better as the turnovers continue to add up. As the Eagles are now at 19 turnovers, and we still have 15 minutes to play here in the game. Drew has turned it over 11 times. But as we mentioned, it's just been difficult for the Eagles to get the shots off. They only have 20 field goal attempts in 25 minutes of play. And that will make it tough. Juniata led by as many as 6, 22-16 in the first half. But since that point, they've been outscored 22-10. And it's now a 6-point lead for Drew, and the Rangers have the basketball as we go under 15 minutes to play here in the game. Musial does walk. Dylan Musial traveled. And that turnover, number 12 for Drew. So the Eagles have a chance to cut into the lead. They've got to break this full court press more effectively. Foul called against Drew. And it will be the 4th foul against Michael Kane. Carter Truby, number 33, enters the lineup once again for Drew. And the Rangers lead by 6. Hall had the ball go through his hands, but he's able to recover it. Baldo. Underneath is Kelly in the paint. No good as the rebound kicks out to Robinson, who's fouled by Marcus Hall. So Marcus picks up his second foul. Team foul number 3 against Juniata. Nick Rigby replaces Hall. And Nate Dacanal replaces Ruggery. So it's Montcalvo, Kelly, Rigby, Baldo, Dacanal for Juniata. And they're playing man-to-man defense against Drew as the shot clock goes down to 12 seconds. The Rangers by 6. Dacanal is going to be called for the foul as David Gervais tried to go around him. And they're going to call the foul against Dacanal. That's the 4th against the Eagles. So new shot clock at 20 seconds. The Rangers try to build on a 6-point lead. Musial, guarded by Montcalvo. Almost stolen. But Musial will get another chance at a 3, and he hits it from the corner. Dylan Musial, the senior from Norwood, New Jersey, has 2 threes here in the second half. And Drew has a 9-point lead. Stolen away, turnover, breakout for Drew. Missed the dunk, follow up is foul and score. Foul and score. So LeBryant Robinson tried to dunk on the break. He missed it. But David Gervais was able to get the rebound, and then he was fouled as he attempted the follow-up as Dacanal is called for his second personal. So the bucket goes after the missed dunk. And a chance for a traditional 3-point play as Juniata takes timeout at 13:30 to go here in the second half. And Drew in front by 11. Juniata will be headed to Drew on Sunday for the return trip in this men's series. It'll be a 4 o'clock tip-off on Saturday afternoon, or I should say Sunday afternoon. That's Sunday afternoon at Drew at 4 o'clock, while we'll be here on the women's side for a 4 o'clock tip. Drew and Juniata. Right now, Drew leads Juniata at halftime in New Jersey, 36-25 in the women's side. Scranton, by the way, remained undefeated. They beat Catholic earlier tonight in women's, 63-46. 63-46, Scranton beats Catholic. So the Royals are 3-0 in the women's half, maybe 4-0. I believe they're 4-0. But here it's Drew and Juniata in the men's side, and Drew with a chance to have its largest lead at 12. 44-32 at the 13:30 mark. Juniata with 21 turnovers. Should say 20 turnovers so far. They're going to have to cut that back and get some chances to score the ball, as they have not been able to get the offense moving. Baldo's shot, no good. Rebounded by Kelly. Hard fought in the lane. Does not get it to fall. And there's a foul. So John Kelly got the rebound, went up with it, missed the shot, but then fought for another shot, and he is fouled by Gallagher. This is Drew Gallagher's second foul, and that's team foul number 2. And John Kelly is in the book with his first point. (44-33), got the second to roll. 44-34. Stepped out of bounds on the far side. They rushed the ball up. Gallagher passed it ahead to James Anderson, but Anderson was on the end line, or the sideline. So that's a turnover for Drew, and Juniata now down 10. Gets the turnover and a chance to cut into the lead. get it down into single digits again. Plenty of basketball remain, 12:45 to go. Eisenhart, double team, foul line to Rigby, drives at a basket. Right-handed shot is good. Worked his way right into underneath the front of the basket and laid it up. Got the roll. Rigby fights for the rebound. And the held ball will go in the alternate possession to Juniata. But Drew missed the shot, and Rigby came flying in from the right side for Juniata and able to get his hand on the basketball. Able to get his hand on the basketball for the held ball. So the alternate possession stays for Drew. 44-36, that way is the call. Malachi Walker is going to be called for a foul. As they're going to call Walker for pushing through the screen, or pushing through the defender, I should say, after he set the screen. So that's a turnover. Third foul against Walker. Juniata has to break the press. They got a bounce their way. Rigby underneath the Kelly, but he couldn't hold on to the bounce pass, and there's a turnover the other way. Three-pointer, no good. Kelly goes for the rebound and gets it for Juniata. Comes to Eisenhart, dribbles hard into the lane, up, and it's blocked by Walker. So Eisenhart took it to the basket, and Malachi Walker slapped it away. But Juniata will stay in possession. So Eisenhart, Kelly, Rigby, Keck, and Ruggery. Three-pointer short by Eisenhart. But Rigby got the rebound, passed it to Ruggery, and he scores. 44-38. Juniata cut it now to 6. After trailing by 12, they've scored 6 straight points. Almost a travel out front. 12 on the shot clock. Musial takes it across the lane, and they're going to call a foul on Ruggery, and that will be his second, team's 6th. So Musial will shoot 2 as he was in the act of shooting as he cut across the lane. He missed the first. So Musial, who has hit a pair of threes off the bench, misses the front end of this 2-shot foul. 44-38, 11:28 to go in the second half. And we are a long way from the end of this game. And I think there's going to be quite a bit of stoppages here as Drew is in the one bonus already. And they are pressing full court, so they have a tendency to foul as we move forward. We'll see what happens. Juniata brings it across, trailing 45-38. Eisenhart looks for Keck coming off the pick, but he has to pick it up and then finds Keck on the left wing instead. Usted at the foul line over to Eisenhart. Left-handed dribble into the lane, passes it to Usted, gets the man up in the air, and then puts it underneath him off the glass and scores. Chase Usted with 6. And there is a foul. McBurney Jr. went to the basket for the dunk, but he's fouled as he goes up, holds on to the rim to keep from falling hard to the floor. So the foul goes against Keck. That's his third. First free throw is no good. So McBurney misses. Drew was shooting 59.7% from the free throw line coming in. So So that 60% from the line. Missed the second. So now just 10 of 18 from the line. And that's made a big difference here as Juniata has been able to cut the 12-point deficit down to 5, and the Eagles have the ball. Eisenhart goes to the basket, has it knocked away, it goes off his leg, and it's a turnover against the Eagles. Eisenhart went hard to the basket, and it just got knocked away from him for turnover number 22 against the Eagles. And Drew gets possession, up 5. McBurney Jr. hands off to Gallagher, is guarded by Ruggery. Robinson, far wing, stolen as the pass from Walker Jr. was stolen by Usted. He's trapped in the far corner. And Juniata takes a timeout as Usted was trapped deep in the corner. And Greg Curley is not a happy camper right now with the officials. (45-40), and I believe that is the final timeout for Juniata. So 10-10 to go here in the second half. The press from Drew has forced turnovers. It's caused Juniata to use timeouts. It's affected Juniata getting the field goal attempts, as we've mentioned. But they've done a little better job here in the second half. After getting 16 attempts in the first half, they have 12 so far from the floor in the second. 9 of 11 from the line has been helpful as well for Juniata. The Eagles only trailed by 5 at 22 turnovers, but they've caused 15. Drew's had 15 turnovers, so it's been a little bit both ways. So let's see if Juniata can get it inbounds here. They've got to get it across the timeline in 5 seconds. And they do, right at the clock. Rigby goes to the basket, pump fakes, off the glass, no good. But Usted goes up for the board, and the foul's going to be called against Drew, as Usted was able to grab onto the basketball, and then Malachi Walker Jr. grabbed onto his arm. So that is his 4th foul. The 4th foul on Walker Jr., team's 4th. New shot clock. We're under 10 minutes to play. Usted at the foul line. Near wing Eisenhart. And he loses it. Stolen by Gallagher. Long 3. Good. LeBryant Robinson. Back to an 8-point lead as Robinson now has 13. Should say 16 points. 16 points for Robinson. 48-40. Keck tries to answer. He does. 3-point goal from the near wing. 48-43. Drew by 5. They're going to call Musial for a foul. Actually, it's not on Musial. It's going to be called on number 32, Matthew Capozzoli, his 3rd, team's 5th. So Juniata with another chance here to cut into a 5-point lead. 9:05 to go. Usted at the foul line, turns, squares. Now he comes to Rigby. Eisenhart left wing. Underneath to Keck. Dribbles to a double team, but he got rid of it. However, it's too low for Ruggery to grab, and it's stolen by Robinson. Musial drives at a basket, goes and lays it into the paint, and they're going to call a foul before the shot. as McBurney Jr. pump faked, then got some contact as he dragged across the paint. And the foul goes against Chase Husted, his third. Team foul number 8. Marcus Hall gives Nick Rigby a break. Michael Moncalvo will have Eisenhart take a seat. First free throw is no good. Rebounded by Husted. So the 1-on-1 miss. Keck goes to the basket. Nice spin move. Is it able to put off the soft finger roll? But it's answered by Drew in the other way as LeBryant Robinson goes for the bucket. 5-point lead. Foul is going to be called against Drew. Dylan Musial called for the slap. So there's plenty of substitutions coming in now. Hall, Ruggery, Moncalvo, Kelly, and Keck for Juniata. We'll get the lineup set for you for Drew in a moment. There's Hall in the lane, and he is fouled by McBurney Jr. And that is his third, team's 7th. 1-on-1 attempt here for Hall. McBurney, Musial, Robinson, Capozzoli, and Kane are on the floor for Drew as Hall goes to the line. Misses the first of the 1-on-1. So free throw bugaboo both ends. Both teams having difficulty making those free throws. It's been a problem for both Drew and Juniata, although Juniata doing much better tonight than they have in the past, the last couple of games. They've improved last game, I should say, and then tonight it's been pretty good. Keck for 3, just off the front, no good. Rebound goes to McBurney Jr. On the break, Robinson, no good, rebounded by Hall. 7:40 to go, still a 5-point lead for Drew. Ruggery, top of the key, Moncalvo. Left wing, it's Ruggery. Goes hard to the glass, up and good. Ruggery went to the right hand, got his 6-point. Driving from the left side, put it up with the right hand off the board for the bucket. 3-point game, 50-47. Travel against Drew. Capozzoli turns it over. That's turnover number 17 against Drew. Juniata has turned it over 24 times. But it's still anybody's game. 50-47, Drew by 3. Kelly to Hall, cross to Ruggery at the right wing. Baldo drives, goes to Hall underneath, shot no good as he tried to go across the basket. But he was stuck between a bank shot and a straight on, and then he put it over the basket just a little too far, and it's rebounded by Drew, but it's stolen away. Moncalvo stepped in front of the pass from Musial, so it's another turnover. And there's a foul called underneath as Hall went to pass the ball into the paint. But number 10, Howard McBurney Jr., had a hold of Kelly. So that's the 4th foul against McBurney Jr., team foul number 8. So John Kelly has 2 points tonight. Good place for him to be is at the free throw line. He shot 11 of 15 on Tuesday night. He's hit a couple here today. So hopefully John can get both of these. First one is up and good. So he hits the first of the 1-on-1, so he's going to get the bonus. Chance for Juniata to cut the lead to 1. 50-48, 6:34 to play here in the second half. Kelly's second shot is right through. So it's 50-49. 9-2 run for Juniata. Top of the key, now they swing to Gallagher in the far wing, who drives off the screen. Now he looks to the far side. It's no good. The three-pointer is going to be rebounded by Kane, as the attempt by Gervais was short. Gervais tries a jumper, and it's no good, and rebounded by Montcalvo. So Juniata with a chance to take the lead with a two-pointer. They trail by one. Top of the key, Montcalvo. Ruggery, rather. Top of the key, Kelly. Underneath the Hall. Throws it off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Drew. Marcus got turned around, had to just kind of throw it up and hit the glass, but too hard to go in. So Drew has it now. There's a foul on Marcus Hall, as Gervais was guarded tightly by Marcus Hall, but ended up getting the bump in the foul call. So that's number 3 against Marcus Hall. And that's the 9th against Juniata. So Gervais will shoot 1-1. And Drew will be in the double bonus the rest of the way after this trip to the free throw line. Gervais has 7 points. Make it 8. Back to 51-49. Juniata has been coming from behind, has been behind most of this contest. Second one is good. So the free throws make it 52-49. Eisenhart, Rigby, Kelly, Baldo, and Montcalvo. Eisenhart guarded by Gallagher, gets it across. Kelly for Juniata to Rigby at the top of the key, but he's a long way away. Baldo, Kelly now near side to Eisenhart, guarded by Gallagher. Kelly at the foul line, goes into the paint, spins, left-handed shot, no good. He short-armed it. And the rebound goes to Drew as they break out. Gallagher goes to the right side. This is a long three from the left area, top of the key. No good by Kane, and Rigby picks up the rebound. Nick Rigby with another board, and now Juniata with another chance to cut in the lead or even tie it here with a three. 4:35 to go here in the second half. Eisenhart, Kelly at the foul line area. 5 on the shot clock. Montcalvo steps and shoots short. Kelly goes for the rebound. It's going to go off of Walker Jr. And Eusted's going to give Kelly a break. Keck and Ruggery will return for Juniata. New shot clock at 20 seconds. Keck to the paint. Rigby left-handed shot is good. Just inside the foul line in the paint, Nick Rigby with 4 points, and it's back to a 52-51 game. 4:05 left. And they're going to call a foul as Gervais just was very persistent to get that drive to the basket. And he drew the foul on Eisenhart. And that's Evans' second. Team foul number 10. So Gervais will get the double bonus. And he makes the first free throw. 53-51. McBurney Jr. returns to the Drew lineup. Walker Jr. sits down to take a break. 4 minutes exactly remaining. Second free throw's good. Gervais with 11 points, 54-51. Ruggery guarded by Gallagher. Near wing, Eisenhart. There's Usted, 20 feet from the basket. Rigby, right wing. Ruggery, underneath the Usted, soft hook, rattled out. Just a bounce. Could not get it to bounce in. 3:33 to go. Gervais drives it to the basket. And the shot is missed and goes out of bounds off Drew. That was a good no call as the Juniata defender stayed in his vertical space. And the contact was definitely done by the offense. If it was anything, it would have been an offensive foul. But we play on. Chance to tie with a three. Ruggery to Usted, who shoots a jumper, and it's good. About a 15-foot bucket by Usted. It's 8 points for Chase, 55-53, 3:05 to go. This has got the makings of coming right down to the wire. Left-handed shot is no good, rebounded. The McBurney miss by Eisenhart. And now it's the top of the key, Ruggery. Juniata once again with a chance to take the lead. Rigby's pass to Usted is punched away by McBurney Jr., so it's right in front of the Juniata bench here. 2:46 on the game clock, 21 in the shot clock. Plenty of time for Juniata. They trail by one. Ruggery guarded by Kane, top of the key. Rigby, pass to Usted, lays it in. Nick Rigby with a pass. Usted with the bucket. Juniata takes the lead, 55-54. 2:20 to go. Three-pointer from Gervais is short. Rigby tries for the rebound, and there's going to be a foul underneath as Howard McBurney Jr. got the deflected ball. Rigby tried to save it, and then Kyle Ruggery reached in to grab the foul, grab the arm of McBurney for the foul. So it'll be a two-shot free throw. First one is no good. As we mentioned, Drew shooting 57.3% from the line for the season coming in. And tonight, it's 14 of 23, now 15 of 24. And we are tied at 55. Drew once again pressing, but it's clear out for Evan Eisenhart, who works it across the timeline against Kane. Keck looks to Usted. It's deflected underneath. And they're going to say it was off Juniata. It was a deflected pass. Couldn't tell for sure, but both officials had it off Juniata. So 1:55 to go, 55-55. Tie contest. Underneath, wide open, Gervais. I should say Kane. Michael Kane comes across and catches it underneath the basket and scores. 57-55, the lead. Once again for Drew. Eisenhart goes to the basket and scores. Ties it at 57. Other way, three-pointer, good. It's a two. He was on the line. A two-pointer. To 2-point goals, 59-57. 59-57. His foot was definitely on the line. 1:05 to go. Rigby goes to the basket, right-handed, rolls in. Got the roll. 59-59. 1 minute exactly left. Drew with the basketball in a tie game. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Gallagher away from the basket, now looks to McBurney Jr., one-on-one against Usted. Goes into the lane, right-handed hook, no good. Usted gets the rebound. 42 seconds left. Eisenhart brings it up unguarded. 35 seconds left. Near wing, Keck. He's guarded by Robinson. There's Ruggery, guarded by Gallagher. 3 versus 3. Usted. He's about 17 feet from the bucket. Looks to Ruggery. 10 on the shot clock. Ruggery down to 5. Left-handed scoop. Up, no good. Usted had a chance to grab the rebound. Ruggery gets the deflection. Foul line, Rigby underneath to Husted. It's blocked. 5.8 seconds on the clock. And Drew will take a timeout. So Juniata will have the ball underneath its own basket with a chance to win the basketball game with a bucket here, as there are 5.8 seconds remaining. And if you're watching, you saw the scramble. If you are just listening, there were a lot of things going on in this possession, but Chase Husted did a great job of not stepping on the out-of-bounds line, deflecting it to Ruggery, and Kyle Ruggery got it across to Chase Husted, but then there was an excellent defensive play by Drew to not allow the shot, but the Eagles will get to bring the ball inbounds with 5.8 seconds to go underneath their own basket, right in front of us here. We're on the upper mezzanine, the left side, as we approach 8:42 here on a Friday night, and it's an exciting chance to end it. Let's see what Juniata does. They line up 4 across. Eisenhart, and the pass is stolen. It's deflected and stolen. And let's see. And it's going to go to Juniata. So Juniata will have 4.3 seconds now as the ball was deflected off of Drew. Ruggery gets it to Rigby. 3 seconds. Rigby blocked. Out of bounds. We go to overtime. So we get to play some bonus basketball on a Friday night. 59-59 as the Eagles had a couple shots here to win the game at the end of regulation. But Drew's defense, the length, got some blocks. Their aggressive defense did not set it up for what you would call an easy shot of any kind. And so we get to play some more basketball. So we're going to go 5 minutes more here. If you're just joining us, Drew led at the break. I should say Juniata led at the break, 27-25. But in the second half, Drew took command and led by as many as 12 points, 44-32. But the Eagles worked their way back, trailed 48-40. Got back to taking the lead at 55-54 with 2:34 to go. But down the stretch, some free throws that were made, some free throws that were missed. And here we are. 5 more minutes of basketball. Juniata shooting 56%, Drew 37%. Both teams with 6 3-pointers. The free throw line's been the difference. Juniata 11 of 14, Drew 15 of 25. Plus Juniata has committed 25 turnovers so far. Drew has committed 18, but it's a fresh start. 5 minutes to go as we start overtime number 1. And we'll see if we can settle it in 5 minutes. And Drew takes possession after winning the tap. Ruggery guarding Kane, who kicks it across, but Ruggery unable to box him out, and Kane got the rebound, and they're going to call foul on Ruggery. Michael Kane at 6'4", and Kyle Ruggery at 5'11". That mismatch in height put Ruggery at a tough spot, and Kyle was called for his 4th foul. And now Kane will go to the line to shoot free throws. Kane with 9 points. in the regulation portion of our game. And he makes the first free throw. So the first points of overtime go to Drew. (60-59), second up, good. 61-59. Drew continues with its press. A little bit of a different press now. It's more of a man press. Rigby dribbles through it, goes to the basket, but has to turn back around. Eisenhart for three, good, in the lead. Evan Eisenhart, 10 points. Juniata up 62-61. 4:20 to go in overtime. Underneath shot is good by Gervais. I should say that's Kane, number 40, Michael Kane with another bucket. Kane with 13, 63-62. Drew regains the lead as we go back and forth now. 4 minutes to go. Eisenhart to Usted. Usted looks for Ruggery off the double screen. Rigby passes it to Eisenhart, who shoots and scores. Two-pointer from the far side. 64-63, the jumper. Eisenhart with 12. Juniata by 1. 3:35 left here in overtime. Almost a steal. It is the steal by Keck. He steals the pass as it went across. He has to bring it to a stop, but Juniata has the ball in the half court, front end with a 1-point lead. Rigby across to Ruggery. Eisenhart steps for three. Good! Evan Eisenhart rattles in the three. 67-64, Juniata by 4. 3:05 left here in overtime. Gallagher to McBurney Jr., cross to Robinson. Back to McBurney Jr., who goes one-on-one to the basket, and he's going to get a chance to shoot a free throw as he is fouled by Usted. He may have been fouled by Nick Rigby. Let's see. Rigby was waiting. Yeah, they're going to call Rigby for the block as he was waiting to try to draw the secondary charge, and he got clobbered. And I think he's going to have to take a break here. First free throw is no good. So McBurney misses the first. John Kelly returns for Juniata. Kelly, who was in major foul trouble. He had two personal fouls in a minute in the first half, so it's been all play in the second half. Usted tried to get the rebound, and it was then deflected, and it goes off of Eisenhart. So that could be a costly missed rebound opportunity there. As Drew missed both free throws, Juniata had a chance to rebound the miss, but instead Drew gets possession. Down 4. Robinson is guarded by Keck. Juniata in the man-to-man defense as they have been throughout the game. Kelly fouls David Gervais. So Kelly will pick up foul number 3. So after the 2 in the first half in 1 minute, he just now picks up his third here in the overtime. And that will put Gervais at the line to shoot 2. It's a double bonus the rest of the way for Drew. Drew has 8 team fouls, so the next foul that's a non-shooting foul would be a 1-and-1 for Juniata, their final one. Free throws good. So David Gervais with 12 points now. His average coming in was 11 per game, so he's surpassed that. And he missed the second, and Eisenhart gets the rebound. 67-64. One possession game at the 2:30 mark. Eisenhart's on fire. Eisenhart is on fire. 17 points for Evan Eisenhart. 69-64. Eisenhart's going to be called for a foul on the defensive end as Gervais goes right to the basket and draws the personal against Eisenhart. That is his third. 69-64. First free throw for Gervais is good. Gervais tries to make the second. This time he makes it. After going 1 for 1 last time, he makes them both this time. It's back to a single possession game, 69-66 at 2:20 in the overtime. Ruggery to Kelly. Usted pretty far away from the basket, out by the three-point line. Kelly across to Keck. Dangerous pass, but it got there. Keck on the dribble to the top of the key. 10 on the shot clock. Pretty far out. Kelly, now 5 on the shot clock. Eisenhardt's going to lose it to Gallagher. And Drew gets the steal. They're on the run out. Robinson, no good. Rebounded by McBurney. He's fouled on the rebound. He went up to try to put in the bucket, and Kyle Ruggery did a good job getting the foul there. And that'll be 5 on Ruggery, so he'll be disqualified with 6 points on the game. But an excellent floor game for Kyle, as he handled the ball quite a bit here in the second half and overtime. And his teammate from Bishop Guilfoyle, Michael Moncalvo, now into the lineup. First free throw attempt is no good by McBurney. McBurney got the rebound and tried to score quickly, but Ruggery had to foul him, and it was a good foul. Nick Rigby, who took that hard charge, he got called for the block, gives John Kelly a break now. Second free throw is no good. Rigby gets the rebound. He's guarded a long way from the basket. Passes it up to Keck. And he lost it from behind, but Rigby got it. And Rigby's going to be called for a travel as the ball was deflected free. The ball was deflected free, and he tried to recover it. And it looked like he was still on both feet, but they said that he was either on the ground or not moving, or had a pivot foot moving. So 1:30 left, 3-point lead for Juniata. Drew with the ball. Gallagher guarded closely, he lost it. Moncalvo stole it. Does a nice job dribbling and bouncing back, but he's double teamed. Across to Rigby. Foul line, Keck. Moncalvo, back to Rigby. 15 on the shot clock. Pass is deflected out of bounds underneath as Keck tried to throw it into Moncalvo, and Gallagher got a hand on it. 1:03 left, 13 on the shot clock. Ball inbounds, near corner, Moncalvo. 10 on the shot clock, Usted. Moncalvo will have to drive, step back, throw up the shot, no good. Rebound deflected, goes to Gervais. Gervais going to go right to the basket and lay it in. And then Drew will take a timeout. 47.2 remaining. 69-68. Juniata by 1. As these 2-1 teams fighting it out here on a Friday night at Memorial Gym. Glad to have you on board. We are in overtime after finishing regulation tied at 59. Juniata fell behind early in the overtime. 61-59, but Evan Eisenhardt got hot. Next thing you know it, Juniata was in front 69-64 halfway through the overtime. But the Eagles have not scored in nearly 2 minutes. It's now 69-68. And the Eagles will have to break the press. The full court pressure by Drew. Moncalvo gets it into Keck. It's a 2-2-1. 25 on the shot clock. They got 3 seconds to get across. They do. They get it up. Across the timeline. Eisenhardt. They're going to have to take a shot. 15 12 on the shot clock. 1 point lead for Juniata. Eisenhart almost traveled. Keck looks inside, skip pass, Moncalvo. 3 on the shot clock. 2, Eisenhart shoots. No good. It didn't hit the rim. It did not hit the rim, so the shot clock expires. So the turnover on that will give Drew the basketball with a chance to win the basketball game with a field goal. 17.2 left. 69-68 Juniata. Gallagher guarded by Moncalvo. Gervais drives at a basket. Up and in off the glass. And Drew takes a timeout. So Gervais goes right to the bucket to score. Right side layup for his 18th point. And Gervais, who has been the offensive force for Drew in the overtime at the foul line, and then the last 2 trips goes to the glass hard on the right side to get points. And it's 70-69. Drew by 1. 8.5 seconds left. Juniata will have to go the length of the floor against the press that has been so difficult for the Eagles to manage tonight. They have 27 turnovers. Drew has 20. Drew has 8 team fouls. So if they do foul a common foul, it'll be 1-1. So if Drew happens to foul, it's a 1-1 situation. Eisenhart, Keck, Rigby, Usted, Moncalvo for Juniata, Gallagher, McBurney, Robinson, Gervais, and Kane for Drew. It's a 1-2-2 kind of look on the press. Let's see what happens. They throw it into Usted, goes to Eisenhart on the dribble. Double teamed. It's stolen away. They got a foul, and they will. Keck will foul with 0.5 seconds left. Eisenhart tried to dribble to the basket through some bodies. There were a lot of green shirts there, a lot of arms flying in. And it ends up being a turnover. And Juniata does have a timeout left in overtime. They reset the clock to 1 second. So it's a 2-shot situation here for Drew Gallagher. Even if he makes both, Juniata will get a chance. He makes the first. Keep it a 1-possession game. But if he makes this, you would think Drew will probably want to foul, make sure that Juniata doesn't throw in a long miracle. Second one is good. 72-69, and Juniata takes the timeout. So it'll be 1 second left for the Eagles to try to throw the ball down the floor or get it inbounds and get a shot that will fall from somewhere outside that three-point line to get a tie and try to somehow get a second overtime out of this. 72-69. The Eagles and Rangers certainly have played an entertaining game here tonight, as it's been back and forth. Drew had a lead of as many as 12. The Juniata kept working its way back, took a 1-point lead, 55-54 with 2:30 to go in regulation. Had a chance to win it at the end of regulation, but could not get an offensive shot to go. So after a 59-all tie, Drew scored first in the overtime, then Juniata came back to lead 69-64, but has not scored since and trails 72-69 with 1 second left. John Kelly can run the line to throw it in. He's got to be careful to make sure he doesn't throw it and hit the under area of the walkway above him, as you know here, as you can see if you're watching on the video. Here we go. Juniata needs a three-pointer to tie it with 1 second left. Usted catches, turns, it'll be short. So that'll be it. So in a contest that was back and forth, it was not the best played basketball in the world in terms of some of the things. There were a lot of turnovers, not the best shooting in the world, but certainly a ton of effort, hard work for both teams. And in the end, it's the visitors from Drew who come back and win it in overtime, 72-69. And the big key, obviously, was that Juniata just could not get a bucket in the last 2.5 minutes of overtime. And they also had a chance at the end of regulation to win it. But it was Drew that made enough free throws and got a couple easy buckets late in the contest to get the victory here tonight. Team statistics. Juniata 25 of 52 for 48% from the floor. Drew was just 22 of 57, 38.6%. Eagles shot well from three-point range, 8 of 13, that's 62%. Drew was 6 of 27 from three-point land after going 1 of 15 in the first half, so they improved quite a bit, 5 of 12 in that second half. Free throws, Juniata hit 77%, 11 of 14, while Drew was just 22 of 37 at the line, 59.5%. That's actually better than their average coming in, as they were averaging 59.7. I just missed it, almost right on the nose. Sorry about that. Turnovers, 28 for Juniata, 20 for Drew, and they scored 21 points off turnovers. Juniata had a 39-36 edge in rebounding, but Drew had 18 offensive rebounds to just 12 for Juniata. Individual statistics. LeBryant Robinson led the way in scoring for Drew with 20 points. David Gervais, who was 8 of 9 from the line, ended up with 18 points off the bench. Michael Kane had 13 points for Drew. Leading rebounder was Howard McBurney, who had 6 boards for Drew out of their 36. McBurney struggled from the line at 1 of 11, but as I said, that's 6 rebounds. He also had 1 block and 3 steals to balance things out. Leading the offense also in assists was Drew Gallagher with 5. For Juniata, Evan Eisenhart got the hot hand and helped make it extremely exciting in the overtime. He ended up with 17 points, team high. 3 of those 3-pointers on 6 of 12 shooting from the floor, 2 of 3 from the line. Cameron Keck had 14 points. He was 3 for 3 in opening half from three-point range. He ended up 4 for 5 from Trey Land, 5 for 6 overall. Also in double figures, Chase Usted had 10 points to go with 9 rebounds as he just missed another double-double. John Kelly hit all 4 of his free throws, but a big factor in this game was that John had 2 fouls in the first half, only got to play 1 minute in the first half and then 9 in the second half in overtime. As the Eagles led by 2 at the end of the first half, Drew took that second half 34-32 for a 59-all tie, and then Drew 13-10 in the overtime to win it 72-69. These two teams will go at it again on Sunday at 4 o'clock in New Jersey, as the Juniata men will make the return trip for the second game of this series. We'll be on the air here on Sunday afternoon as the Juniata women will be playing Drew for a 4 o'clock tip. We'll be on the air just about 5-10 till, get you pregame and get ready to give you some more Landmark Conference basketball. Juniata falls to 2-2. Drew goes to 3-1 in the Landmark Conference as we say good night here from Memorial Gym and the Kennedy Sports and Rec Center. For the entire crew at Juniata, this is Joe Shalaba saying so long. Final score here tonight in overtime, it was Drew beating Juniata by a final score of 72-69. Good night, everybody.